Hi, my name is Aaron Shively, and I'm a Riverbed sales engineer. Today I'm going to show you how to do a basic physical empath installation of a Steelhead appliance. So first of all, before you even get the Steelhead appliance out of the box, let's just talk about how it's going to get cabled up and installed in your network. So this is what it's going to look like. It's actually going to sit between your router, firewall, and your switch. And it's going to connect, we're going to connect the WAN 00 port on the Steelhead appliance to our router firewall using a crossover cable. Then we're going to connect the LAN 00 port on the Steelhead appliance using a straight through cable over to our switch. The port right here on your router firewall and the switch port right here both need to be set to auto for speed and duplex. And then the third interface on the Steelhead appliance that we're going to connect is called the primary interface. And this is just used for management. So you can connect this using a straight through cable to any open switch port that you want to. So that's a quick overview of how this thing is going to get physically installed and cabled. One last thing I want to make a note of is note that there's no way that traffic can get around us in this situation. We need to see all send and receive traffic to and from the servers in order to optimize that traffic. We can't have any traffic go around us. So now that we've kind of talked about that, go ahead and pull the Steelhead appliance out of the box and just power it up and connect the serial console cable that came in the box to the serial port on the Steelhead appliance. Power it up and you're going to get a login prompt. Just you can use SSH or whatever terminal emulator software you prefer. Connect to the serial port and we're going to log in. The username is admin and the password is just password. Once you log in, you're going to get something that looks like this, the configuration wizard. So I've already got this information in mine, so I'm just going to be hitting enter, but you're actually going to be typing it in yours and hitting enter. So first of all, put in the host name, hit enter. Use DHCP on primary interface, go ahead and select no and then hit enter. Primary IP address, again, this is the management interface called the primary interface. Go give it an IP address, hit enter, then mask. Default gateway, primary DNS server, domain name, this will be your internal domain name, and password. You can go ahead and change this and then type enter, hit enter. SMTP server, this is going to be used for email alerts, notification email address. Go ahead and set the primary interface speed, just leave it at auto, leave the duplex at auto. Would you like to activate the empath configuration? Go ahead and type yes, hit enter. The empath IP address. Let's talk about this really quick, back on the diagram. The empath IP address is a virtual IP address that sits between my LAN port and my WAN port. So it actually needs to be on the same subnet that exists between the switch and this router or firewall. So once you determine which free IP address you can use on that subnet, go ahead and type it in here, hit enter, netmask, default gateway, and we're going to leave the empath LAN interface speed to auto, duplex to auto, and WAN speed to auto, WAN duplex to auto. Now we're going to go ahead and hit enter. This will save our changes. And at this point, what you want to do is go ahead and cable up the primary interface on the Steelhead appliance, because we're going to actually want to be able to get into that through a web GUI to upgrade the software. Once you've cabled that up, go ahead and open up your web browser and just type in the primary IP up here, and you'll just log in with the login information. And what we want to do is go to configure, maintenance, software upgrade. Now, I've got mine already updated to the latest version. Yours probably will not be the latest version. As of recording this, the latest version right now is 7.03, but you'll definitely want to check what the latest version is on the support site. So what you want to do is, first of all, you have a booted version and a backup version. There's a good chance that your backup version is going to be newer than your booted version. If that's the case, go ahead and switch to the backup version by clicking this. After you do that, click reboot and go ahead and reboot the box. You can boot up to the latest version that you actually have on the box. It'll switch to that version that you just click switch to. Once it's back up, you want to make note of the booted version, because now you're on the latest one that is on that box, and Now you're going to want to log into support.riverbed.com. If you don't already have a support account, you can go ahead and just register for one. It's just going to require that you use your serial number off your Steelhead appliance, which you can actually get on this support section right here on the box. Just copy the serial number right here. Once you've created a support account, you can log in, then just click on Downloads Steelhead, and then click on Steelhead Appliance. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my From version and To version. This is going to give me my upgrade path. So in this case, let's say that I had a slightly older version. Let's say I was at 6.1.1, for example. Then I want to go up to my latest version. Right now it's 7.03, but when you're watching this video, it might be newer than that. So just select the version at the top, the most recent. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and do 6.1.1 to 7.03 as an example, and I'm going to hit Submit. This is then going to tell me my upgrade path. So in this case, it looks like I have to go up to 6.53, and then from there go to 7.03. So then I'm going to scroll down here, and I'm just going to show you an example. When I grab the code, this is like the 7.03 code, but I would also need the 6.53 code as well. But you want to grab, there's a 32-bit version and a 64-bit version. You want to grab the version that's appropriate to your Steelhead model. So just make sure your Steelhead model is listed right there. Mine's a 550, so I would want this version right here, the 32-bit. So I'm going to go ahead and download that, the 703, and I'd also, in this case, download the 653, which is below. I've now downloaded both those pieces, the software images. Then I'm going to go back to my Steelhead, and I'm going to go to Configure, Maintenance, Software Upgrade, and you have to do it in order. So I would do from local file, and in this case, from my example back there, say I was at 6.1.1, I now need to choose my 6.54 code, go ahead and browse to it, then click Install. After it finishes installing, it'll ask you if you want to reboot the box. Go ahead and reboot the box. When the box comes back up, you'll notice in the top right corner, it'll show the current version. In your case, it should come back at 6.54. At this point, we can now do the same thing, except with the 703 code, and then get up to the latest version. So go ahead and do the same thing, choose File, browse to 703, install it, reboot it, and then check after it's been rebooted, check the top right corner, make sure you're at 703. So now we've actually got the Steelhead appliance up to the latest version of code. So what we can do now is go ahead and shut it down. So just go to Configure, Maintenance, and then Reboot Shutdown, and then just click Shutdown. This is going to physically power the box off. Once it's powered off, you can go ahead and just unplug the power cable. So now we're ready to put the actually install the appliance in your network. So going back to this diagram, I like to install the appliance physically powered off. And the reason for that is because the appliance it fails to wire when it's off, so it just becomes a crossover cable. And I want to make sure that works properly and that I have my cabling correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and put the box in, cable up just like this, and then I'm actually going to leave it powered off, and I'm going to ping through it to verify I have connectivity through the box. Once I verified that, I will then physically plug the power cord in the back of it and power it up, and then confirm that I still have good connectivity through the box. So that's pretty much it for the basic physical and path installation of the Steelhead. If you have any further questions, my contact info is below the video. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.